Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and today we are going to choose my TBR for June. So if you haven't been here before, I throw knives at a box in order to choose which prompts I will be using to pick my books. And I've done this for a couple of years at least now, and I'm not very good at it, but it is always fun to choose my prompts this way. So I'm always looking for new prompts. I'm trying to change my prompts out regularly. And so yeah, that's how I choose my books. So first of all, let's go over what I had in the month of May. I am about 50-50 on how I've done for my reading. I had somebody comment on my last video. I started doing a punishment spin on a spinner wheel. That it's just basically every single book that has been on my TBRs so far in 2026 that I haven't gotten to. I put them on a wheel, and if I don't finish my TBR, I spin the wheel and we'll pick one of those books and add it on. And they asked me if I was kind of shooting myself in the foot by not finishing my TBR and then adding on an extra book, which yes, maybe I am, but I do really want to read the books that I'm putting on my TBRs. I just don't always have time, and I don't want to like forget about the books that I have been excited about in past months because of the ones that I'm hauling and more likely to add to my TBRs, if that makes sense. So I think it's kind of fun, and at least for right now, we're going to continue to try it out and see how it goes. Does it mean that I still might not finish my TBR at all? Possibly, but I just think it's kind of a fun addition. So for the time being, I'm just going to try it out and see how this goes for me. So that prompt, our punishment spin last month, was to add on Operation Bounce House by Matt Denneman. I am about 50 pages into that book right now. I haven't picked it up for a couple of weeks, but I have at least started it, but I haven't finished it yet. So there is that. The first actual prompt that I got in May was to read the final book or finish a series. For that one, I chose Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which is, you know, obviously book 7. It is the last book in the series. I have been rereading those to annotate them and pass them along to my dad to read for the first time. I still have not done this one. My sister said that I ought to try the audiobooks and then annotate like what I want to as I go, because I've been listening to a ton of audiobooks in May, and it is a thought. I might have to try it out because I just haven't gotten around to reading this one, and I really need to. So that way he can finish the series, that way I can finish my reread of it. Possibly doing the audiobook for that one here very, very soon. The next prompt that I got was under 400 pages or a repeat author, and for that one I read the Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. I did read this one. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I flew through that book, and I don't know. It wasn't really much of a thriller, I would say. It was more of just like a mystery kind of thing, but I really liked it. I like her writing a lot. There's just something about it that really works for me, so I had a good time with it and I enjoyed it. The next one that I had was A Name in the Title, and for that one I chose Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I did listen to this one on audio, and I think if I would have read this like 15 years ago, I would have absolutely loved it. Her talking about helping with autopsies and things like that were right up my alley, and I still think that stuff's really, really interesting to read. However, this book was just so YA at times to me that it drove me crazy, and just the character, how naive she was, it kind of drove me nuts sometimes. So I ended up giving this one 3.5 stars, but I think I would have absolutely loved it if I would have read it like 15 years ago. So nothing against the book, I'm just too old for it. So the next prompt that I had was a NetGalley arc, and for that one I chose the Book of Fallen Leaves, and that one is from Orbit, and I believe the author was A.S. Tamaki, and I will put that right here, especially if I got it wrong. I don't have the book right in front of me right now, and I forgot to write it in here. So this one was one that I had for a NetGalley arc of on my phone, but I don't like to read books on my phone screen, like on my phone. So I had the physical copy of it as well, so I was going to read that. I read like the first couple of chapters in it, and then I put it down, and I haven't picked it up since. So hopefully that one will be in the cards for us very soon. I just haven't gotten to it. Honestly, most of the month of May, I was not reading books physically. I was listening to audiobooks. I was working on diamond paintings and listening to audiobooks all month long. So this has been my best reading month. It just wasn't the books that I had planned. So our next prompt was a beautiful cover, and for that one I chose The Library at Amerlin by Kaylin Josephson, and that one is the same thing. I really want to get to that one. I read like the first chapter in it, and I just haven't gone back and continued with it yet, but I do really want to read it still. I do actively really want to read it. That one was blurbed by Sarah Beth Durst and Adrienne Young. That's who it was. And I really like both of those authors, so I do still actively really want to read that one. I just didn't have time for it. And then last but not least, I had a Celebrec. And for that one, I chose First Light Wins by Ashley Elston. It was part of the Reese's Book Club for Reese Witherspoon. And I did listen to this one on audio. I gave this one 4 stars. There were parts of this that I thought were done really well. It reminded me a lot of like a Charlie's Angels vibe. I don't know if anybody else got that. I didn't really look at any of the comments on Goodreads for it, but that one totally gave me like a Charlie's Angels vibe. She works for this like unknown boss to go into these scenarios and find information, and it just was kind of a fun one that way. It wasn't to me a whole lot of a thriller, I would say, but I did enjoy it. I did like the book. So the thrillers weren't really thrilling, but I did still enjoy the reads. So that being said, 3 of which I finished, technically 4 I did not. So we are going to spin again on my punishment wheel. I have added Harry Potter, the Book of Fallen Leaves, and The Library at Amerlin onto my spinner wheel. So we will start with that and figure out what book I will be adding on in the month of June. Hopefully I will do better this time. Okay, I need to turn the brightness down so it's not washing me out so bad. So here we are. This should have everything on it, and we will go ahead and spin. Ooh, Ship of Spells. Okay, so that one is H. Slayton Dixon, and that one is a romantasy. So, very, very excited to try and get to that one. I don't know if I'll be able to get the audiobook. I haven't tried really any fantasy yet, hardly, with the audiobooks. It's just been listening to The Hobbit again, with Andy Serkis reading it. So, that's the only fantasy I've tried. We're gonna see how it goes. If I can find some of these on audio, I might try them out. I know that due to another video, I'm currently listening to Inkheart by Cornelia Funk, and I am going to be starting Bunny. I'm very nervous and very excited, but I will be starting Bunny probably tonight or tomorrow, and so we'll see how that goes. So anyways, let's get into our prompts. So I throw until I get 6 prompts, and then we go through the books. So that being said, let's see what I get for my first throw. So my first prompt is plants or foliage on the cover, and for this one I decided to go with one that I just bought in the month of May, and that is Heartwood by Amity Gage. I'm really excited to try this one out. It seems like kind of a slower paced, kind of sort of thriller, and kind of not, but it caught my eye and I've been wanting to try it for a while. I finally bought it, and so I'm excited to see if I like it or not. So it says, deep in the Maine woods, an experienced hiker goes missing. She is 42-year-old Valerie Gillis, who has vanished 200 miles from her final destination. Alone in the wilderness, Valerie pours her thoughts into fractured poetic letters to her mother as she battles the elements and struggles to keep hoping. At the heart of the investigation is Beverly, the determined Maine State Game Warden, tasked with finding Valerie, who leads the search on the ground. Meanwhile, Lena, a 76-year-old bird watcher in a Connecticut retirement community, becomes an unexpected armchair detective. Roving between these compelling narratives, a puzzle emerges, intensifying the frantic search, as Valerie's disappearance may not be accidental. So it sounds really good. It definitely sounds interesting. I really hope that I like this one. It says that it's a literary thriller of the highest order is what this says. So we'll see if I enjoy it, but either way, I really want to try it out and see if I do like it. The next prompt that I got is a title with the letters R-A-I-N in it, and I'm probably gonna regret this because it's a big book, but I am going to put on Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is book 2 in the Empyrean series, first one being Fourth Wing. I read that one a few months ago and I was so glad that I finally got to it. I absolutely loved it. I love the world building, I love the characters, I love the romance, I love the dragons, I loved everything. And it left off on such a cliffhanger that I bought the second book before I completely finished the first one, and I haven't picked it up yet. So it is a chunky one. It is over 600 pages, but I do really want to read it, and I know that when I get into these, I can really fly through them. So I'm really excited to continue on in this series and see how this goes. I know that everybody says that it kind of has that middle book syndrome, but sometimes those ones end up being my favorites. So I'm really curious to see if I like this one, and I'm really excited for it. The next prompt that I got was 26 books. Oh, focus. 26 books for 2026. And it just so happens that on June 9th, I believe it is. Yeah, June 9th, the next book in the Seasons of Carnage trilogy comes out. So I have this one on hand, just that way I have something to hold up. But I will be buying the next book. So I'm going to add on Harvest Season by Brynn Weaver. I have it on my 26 for 2026. I absolutely love Brynn Weaver's writing. She's one of my favorite authors. There is just something with her writing that's very quirky and fun and gruesome, and I just absolutely love it. I have such a good time reading her books. I'm always just kicking my feet and cracking up, and I just love it. So I know that I'm going to be buying the next book the day that it comes out, and I want to be able to jump right in. I'm pretty sure I read this one the day that it came out, and so I'm really excited to pick up the next one and continue on in this series. I believe it's a continuation too, and not like a different perspective thing. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not certain because I haven't looked it up for a while. But either way, I will be buying Harvest Season. I will be reading Harvest Season, and I absolutely love Brynn Weaver, so I can't wait. The next prompt that I got is, the cover is an outdoor scene, and for this one it kind of fits because it's the outside of a building, but for this one I'm decided to go with The Faraway Inn by Sarah Beth Durst. So Sarah Beth Durst is my all-time favorite author right now, and I absolutely love her writing. I have read the Spell Shop books so far, which we have the next one coming out on July 28th, so right after my birthday, and I will definitely be buying that book as well. I've read the Queens of Renthia series by her. I've read The Lost by her. I have The Bone Maker finally by her that I got off of Pango. And I also got this one. So this is one of her YA books. This one just came out at the end of March, I believe, and I'm really wanting to try it and see if I like her YA stuff too. Some authors can write YA really well and have young adult characters that are just young, but they don't feel super young, and I feel like that's how she's going to be with her writing. After reading the Queens of Renthia series, some of the girls are younger in those books, but they don't feel like young adult books. Not that those ones are, but this one is following a 16-year-old girl who moves in with her great aunt in a B&B, and the inn is just kind of falling apart. It says, Auntie Z is determined to keep anyone from messing with her beloved inn, even though she clearly needs the help. To convince her great aunt to keep her around, Calista sets to work fixing up the inn, enlisting extra help from the groundskeeper's handsome son. But the longer she stays, the surer she is that there's something strange about the B&B and its guests, something almost otherworldly. The inn is keeping a magical secret, but to protect the place she's come to love, Calista must unravel the truth before it's too late. So it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun with like the renovations and a little bit of romance. And I don't know, it just sounds like some of the things that I absolutely love from the Spell Shop books. And so I'm really excited to try this one out. The next prompt that I got is hyped on YouTube. And for this one, I'm going to go with a book that I actually just picked up yesterday. Barnes & Noble had a sale going on over the weekend, and I was able to get a couple of books that way. And I price matched one to get it for like $5 off, so I had to buy it. And I'm really excited to read it. So I ended up going with The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Like I said, I just got this one yesterday. It's the really pretty sprayed edges edition. And I can't wait. I know everybody loves this book. I've never read anything from this author before, so I'm really excited to try it. It says, Sybil is a diviner. In her dreams, she receives visions from 6 unearthly figures known as the Omens. Lords and common folk alike travel across the Stonewater Kingdom's windswept moors and craggy mountains to learn their futures by her dreams. Just as she and her sister diviners near the end of their 10 years of service, a mysterious knight arrives at the cathedral. Rude, heretical, and devilishly handsome, the knight Roderick has no respect for Sybil's visions. But when Sybil's fellow diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but to seek his help in finding them. For the world outside the cathedral's cloister is fraught with peril. Only the gods have the answers she is seeking, and as much as she'd rather avoid Roderick's dark eyes and sharp tongue, only a heretic can defeat a god. So it definitely sounds really, really good, and I hope that I love this as much as everybody else does. I thought this was a perfect one to add in because I am excited to read it since I just bought it. So our last prompt is to get on a random word generator, generate a word, and find those letters in a title. So I'm going to pull that up on my phone. Okay, so let's try it with just one word, any word, and let's see what we get. Oh my goodness, I cannot see. Is it that one? Does it say clever? Yes. Okay, that says clever. So we have to find the letters clever for clever in a title. This is going to be interesting. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I think I might have to get a different word. I can't think of anything. So if you think of anything that you know that I own that I missed, let me know because I'd be curious to see. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, that's not working right. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try, okay, here. So this is a different website. That's just what automatically is up there, but this way you can actually see it, and so can I. So, oh my goodness. Okay, so that's decrease. Let's see if I can find anything. Okay, so the one that I am going to choose for this one is The Impossible Garden of Clara Thorne by Summer and England. So we have DECREASE. I didn't reuse any letters. I think I did pretty good. Okay, so this is another one that I just got. This one is another cozy fantasy. It says, most stories end with a happily ever after, but mine, well, it begins with one. After a lonely childhood, Clara Thorne is comfortably settled as the magically gifted gardener for the town of Moss. Sure, her closest companion is a surly hedgehog, and she's forever stuck on the first line of her novel, but she has a home. That is until the goddess chooses Clara for an important quest. Travel to the cursed town of Dwindle and grow them a garden in less than a month. Only Clara is hiding a terrible secret. Her magic doesn't work outside Moss. Worse, the goddess has assigned the absurdly sexy, annoyingly cheerful Hesper Altenfall to keep her safe. Clara would rather eat thorns than accept help, especially since Hesper insists that Clara's magic is bound to her heart, not her home. Nevertheless, the two can't help growing closer as they traverse enchanted woods and share tavern beds, but with an ancient evil threatening from the shadows, saving Dwindle will require more than enchanted crops. Clara will need to unearth a magic she's always believed impossible. So it sounds like it's going to be really cute. I love the fact that it has a hedgehog for an animal companion in this, and so I'm really excited for it. So, all in all, I think we got a really good stack. So we have Heartwood for plants or foliage on the cover, Iron Flame with the letters R-A-I-N. We have Harvest Season, Not Tourist Season by Bryn Weaver for 26 for 2026. The Faraway Inn for an outdoor scene on the cover. Then I End the Moth for Hyped on YouTube. And then The Impossible Garden of Clara Thorne by Summer and England for the letters of decrease in the title. So have you read any of these? If you have, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If they're ones that you are looking forward to reading as well, I'd love to hear those things as well. Thank you so much for being here, hanging out with me for a little bit. Oh, and plus we have Ship of Spells. So we're going to be adding on Ship of Spells as well. But thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.